earlier today, Starfield got a new update. This was just under 1 GB on Steam and notably larger at 2.6 GB on Xbox. This update's going to implement some of the first of the larger features Bethesda promised to be coming a couple of weeks ago, as Starfield now features an FOV slider for both the first and third person on all platforms. You can adjust each of these settings independently from values ranging from 70 to 110. So if you want to go full OG Doom, you have that choice now, and in general, it's just a great feature that'll implement more accessibility for the game. If you want to take advantage of the FOV slider, you can, or you can just ignore it if you don't want to. And of course, this is going to be genuinely huge for console players. PC players could actually edit their FOV via the INI or mods, but this is going to be the first opportunity for console players to experience the game how they want to. Beyond that, Bethesda also reports that there are various stability and performance improvements for Starfield. I tested this out on my own PC in a few different locations, and I honestly didn't find much. You can see here in Neon, my FPS is functionally identical with this new update compared to what it was with the last patch. And in New Atlantis, I noticed slightly lower FPS after the patch, but again, not to a real impactful degree. And with some of the extra details turned on in Aquila City, you can see things are basically just the same performance-wise. And though I'm only using my own system for these benchmarks, it seems like this is going to be largely true for most players with most systems. If prior to this update you were getting under 60 FPS in most cities, with this update you'll still be getting under 60 FPS in most cities. Although the last couple of changes could be huge for a very specific subset of you. If you're one of the dozens of people out there with an Intel Arc GPU, it should be more stable now. This may be shocking for some of you, but I actually don't own one of these GPUs, so I wasn't able to test this. As well as there was one quest progression fix here. During the quest Echoes of the Past, you need to take out a boss enemy to finish it, and sometimes this boss enemy would spawn in the ceiling or in the ground so you couldn't damage it, and in turn just not able to finish the quest, but also not able to progress the Crimson Fleet questline overall. Thankfully, that specific issue was fixed. Now, of course, as a part of this update, some of the mods for Starfield did break, notably the script extender, as well as some of the supported mods for that, and although that does suck, it's going to suck a lot less than it would have a couple of weeks ago. Thankfully, a recent mod release was Address Library, and what this mod functionally does is make it so a lot of the other mods out there will rely on Address Library. So when Starfield gets updated, instead of each individual mod having to be updated and changed to work with the new version of the game, instead it's just Address Library that has to do that, and all of the other mods can rely on it. What this means is, as you're updating your mods over the next couple of days, there'll be far less that you'll have to update this time around. And as I'm sure some of you can imagine, perhaps some of you are even feeling right now, there definitely has been a ton of fan frustration, even pushback against this update. On one hand, there are a lot of players out there just frustrated that their mods broke for such a minor update to the game. And while I do understand this frustration, that is really going to be on you as a user. Starfield is just over a month old. There are a ton more updates to come, that's just a given at this stage in the game's lifespan. So if you're getting into extensive modding while also not preventing auto updates, that's kind of on you. There's certainly going to be quite a few more updates over the next couple of months. But as a completely separate and unrelated issue, there are quite a few users out there that are just frustrated that this update is so small. It's been exactly 2 weeks since the last update to the game, and this is a pretty underwhelming number of changes in the eyes of many players for 2 weeks worth of work. So now on one hand, some are upset that more of these major features weren't added to the game today. Brightness control in particular feels like a low-hanging fruit feature that really needs to be added for accessibility reasons as soon as possible. Although when it comes to some other things like DLSS or even ultra-wide support, I wouldn't be shocked if we don't even see those get added this year. When it came to Fallout 76, a very similar thing happened. Bethesda created a post highlighting a bunch of missing features that they would be adding. Some of these didn't come until the following year, and I wouldn't be shocked if it's similar for Starfield. And to me, one of the biggest issues that faces the game right now are the lack of quest progression fixes. There are a plethora of side quests in Starfield right now that are bugged, and for some users, they just can't progress them. After 2 weeks, I definitely hope we get more than just one fix on this front, particularly if the next update's another 2 weeks away. I've seen some reports from users that they have multiple quests on their save right now that are currently unprogressible due to bugs. And some of this has definitely contributed to the dropping player sentiment around Starfield. As of right now on Steam, the recent reviews have gone to mixed, as the average has dropped to just 69% positive reviews as of late. But if you have been loving Starfield for yourself, check out these recently released Starfield displays. There are a ton of Starfield designs available right now, ranging from concept art to even some of the cover art for the game, but also a ton of NASA options if you want something that's just space themed in general. You can pick these up for yourself using my affiliate link down below, and I'll even get a bit of a kickback. So overall, that's going to be the most recent update for Starfield. The game finds itself in a pretty interesting spot as of right now. And if you're interested in more Starfield content, check out this video where I go over some of the best and recent mods to come out for the game.